Okay, so we are going to start off with Unit 1, Lesson 1 in Algebra 1. Some things to think about is the words that I'm going to be using throughout this lesson are going to be the key vocabulary words of numerical data, categorical data, statistical question, non-statistical question, and variability. Okay, for the guiding questions, and these you can get off the slides at a later date, are explain the difference between a statistical question and non-statistical question, and then explain the differences between numerical and categorical data. So if you were in class, you'd be doing an activity of walking around the room and collecting data from your classmates. So we're just going to kind of condense this. So we're going to look at the questions that everybody would be asking. Okay, so if you look at all of these questions, so on average, how many letters are in the last name for students in this class? On average, what is the farthest in miles that each student in this class has ever been from home? About how long did it take students in this class to get to school this morning? And on average, how many movies in a theater did each student in the class watch this summer? So these are examples of questions that are going to have variability. Not everybody has the exact same numbers in their last name. Not everybody is driving the exact same amount of miles to school or have ever traveled from home. So because all of these answers will vary, therefore, these questions have variability. So because these questions have variability, that makes these, so these are statistical questions. And it just so happens that all these are going to be numbers. Okay, so how many letters in your last name? How many miles? How long did it take? So these are numbers. So this is actually collecting numerical data. Okay, so if the answers will vary, they have variability, which means that they are a statistical question because they have variability, and then we are collecting numerical data. If we look at the next set of numbers, which month has the most birthdays from the class? Would the class rather have a snow day or a field trip day? Which combination does the class prefer of peanut butter and banana, or strawberry and banana? And then does the class prefer to write on college ruled or wide ruled paper? Because there's still variability. It's not just one answer. So again, summarizing, so these answers will vary. Therefore, the questions have variability. Because there is variability, that means that these are statistical questions. And obviously we are not collecting numbers, so this is called collecting categorical data. So if you need to be pausing the video at any time, please do so that everybody has a chance to write this information down. Moving on to the next set of questions. So if you ask anybody in class these questions, how many periods have there been before this math class? Well, if it's second hour, there's only been one, but everybody's going to say the same answer of one. In what year was the 13th Amendment ratified? The correct answer is 1865. So everybody should have that same answer. The lightest element from the periodic table is going to be hydrogen. So again, everybody's going to have that same answer. How many student desks are in the classroom? everybody counts all the student desks, they're going to get the same number of 24. So these questions do not have variability, because everybody's going to have the same answer. Okay, so these do not have variability. Therefore, these are non-statistical questions. So these are non-statistical questions. And then when it's a non-statistical question, we don't really worry about whether it's numerical or categorical, because it's going to vary. Okay, so this would be a numerical, collecting numerical data, but again, it's just that answer, so there's no variability. So if we go to the summary, kind of bringing everything together. So what makes a question statistical? Answers vary. Therefore, has variability. An example of a non-statistical question: answers do not vary. Therefore, no variability. I'm not going to worry about that one. What type of data, or what type data is collected to answer the statistical question? Would you rather have pizza or hamburger? So the type of data is either going to be numerical or categorical. Obviously, these are not numbers. I'm not going to get a number answer, so this would be categorical. What is an example of a statistical question? So that means it has to have variability. That results in numerical data. So a good example might be in the last 10 days, how many times have you exercised for 30 minutes? Okay, so we're looking for how many times, so that's collecting numerical data. Everybody's answers are going to be different, so that makes it a statistical question. And then finally, what are some ways to represent data graphically? And this goes back to what you've probably seen in previous years, and that would be like pie charts, box plots, histograms, and we'll talk about all of these in the next lesson. Histograms, dot plots, and bar graphs. So just to name a few, but there's a lot of different ways of representing the data.